How are you?
Good. I want to remind everybody.
How are you? You stop being so logical, just stop. Sometimes you always have to go today. Noel,
Morning.
not gonna sleep last night. Not gonna sleep last night.
Yes. I could.
I don't. Good morning, how are you?
Hi.
No more confusing when I call you 9 minutes, right?
I love it. You know, you're the only one on this planet that gets to talk.
Oh, you call me Jimmy, but how about that?
Well, we got
Stop it now, it's too cold.
I
know, I thought so too.
That's his camera.
I like that. Yes, for me it is. Yes.
It's like being hugged by a sheep.
Ah, God,
You know your food cooked?
Yes, I did. And do you know what? I got back up at 5 this morning, started finishing it up. And you're kidding. I would have called you and woken you up. You were a wild one. Yeah,
Good
I
morning,
know, I was so
everybody.
afraid.
Let's go ahead and get started. Somebody give me some good news. What's some good news out there that's going on? Or even better, something that you're thankful for today. Some of you said that you're thankful for today. Michelle, you go ahead and go.
Yeah, I know. I always like to go. I am thankful that we have Monica Noel. She joined Quan and she is co-oping with Marjorie Caesar on a deal. And Marjorie said these amazing words about her, and we now are blessed to have her. So that's my blessing for Thanksgiving.
Welcome.
Yay.
So she fixed my cough this morning, made me look nice. I like that. I like that. Which is cool. Okay. What else are you thankful for this morning?
I'm thankful for my family. I guess. Yeah, and my life. I'm very happy. Everything is good. I'm healthy. I never got COVID. So it's all good.
I like that. I like that. What else are we thankful for this morning? Somebody in TV land on mute and tell me something you're thankful for. I love the TV land. That's a Michelle thing.
Oh, hello, Barbara Meek. Barbara, we hadn't seen her in a while, but glad to see you.
Hello, Barbara. Who am I gonna call on? Who's gonna call on?
So I need to run again.
Grace.
Who?
Grace and Magdalena.
Magdalena, are you on there? What are you thankful for, Magdalena? Response to TV land. All right, who else here is thankful for something?
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
Something
everybody's
like
thankful for something.
Out here.
Nine, what are you thankful for?
Sweet son, who's a tennis player for Georgia Tech, is going to Spain for 3 weeks. For training. I won't see him on holiday, but this is good. Next level.
Yay.
Hey. Like a true Georgia Tech parent. Y'all
Yeah,
see things
we wanna
at
be
a
humble.
different level. Exactly. If I was around high school, if I told her I want to go to Georgia Tech, she'd laugh at me. She said, "You're not getting here to Georgia Tech." They even spell Georgia Tech.
Aw.
I could, but that's not right. Anyway, cool. What else are you thankful for this morning? Arthur, what are you thankful for this morning? I'll be very cheap.
Another Thanksgiving with my mom, who's coming in tomorrow.
Right, guys, and guys, I will tell you. I will tell you that, how can I say this? Be thankful that you can be with your families.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have families to be with, or our sweet Tracy, you know, she just seen her husband this Thanksgiving night. So just be thankful for the ones you get to be with, even the ones that drive you crazy. Well, everybody to think about the person they're least looking forward to seeing Thanksgiving. Don't say their name. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. There's that uncle or that aunt or that honorary grandmother or that 5-year-old that screams the whole time because just you think who that person is, and guys, say a prayer for them before you go there. Anyway, guys, anyway, we're so thankful. This is, by the way, at 11 o'clock today, we're going to have our Thanksgiving Day luncheon. It's our 10th. It would be our 11th. We didn't do it last year because of COVID, but guys, it'd be our 10th one, guys. Started 10 years ago. If you're out there in TV land and you still want to come on, I promise you there'll be lots of food, right, Kimberly? There'll be lots of food, so just come on. And I have a special dessert that I did not make, but I bought. It looks beautiful, doesn't it, Michelle?
Amazing.
Tell them what it is.
Tres leches.
Tres leches.
Yes.
I can spell it. I'm going to Spanish.
T, 2 words.
Yeah.
TRES, tres,
Spacious.
leches.
LECHES.
Oh, wow.
No clue how to spell that. Just me? But the rest of you, I have no clue. Tres, I can get TRES, I get that. The leches, we're struggling with it. Right, cool.
So my husband is an expert on dress leches. Last weekend we had a huge party. He made a killer dress leches with coffee liqueur and liqueur in it. And from kids to the adults, that's the biggest hit. It was so good. So hopefully yours can beat it today. Yeah, there you go. I have high standards.
Staff has seen, and they said it is beautiful.
It looks
And for
beautiful.
me, it's all about presentation.
Yeah.
Right, Michelle?
You did an amazing job.
Okay, guys, anybody else wants to share something that's on their mind this morning? Yes, ma'am.
I'm in the last trimester of having 2 grandbabies coming in February. Excited.
Tomorrow, my grandsons are turning 12, and I'm gonna go back today to be with them. And one of them, the aggressive one, I don't say which one it is because their father was like that, but Gray, you know what I'm talking about. He said, "Well, Pop, what time are you gonna get us?" I don't know, about 38, 30. He said, "Well, Pop, why can't you leave earlier?" And I said, "Well, I'm not gonna say his name, Seth. I can't leave earlier because I have to work." And he said, "Well, okay, then I gotta go home, get my dog, put him in the car and come." He said, "Well, Pop," I said, "What? Just put everything in the car, take him with the office, you can leave from there and save time." And I went, so I listened to him this time. Not always do. Seriously, guys, I'm looking forward to that drive. Only about 7 hours. Better stay than tomorrow, right?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Anyway, guys, last but not least, we have a little prayer group that we get together most Tuesdays before, and we pray for this group. Tell them what we prayed for this morning, Arthurine, for this office.
Prayed for the office, we prayed for our families, we prayed for safe travels, we just filled with gratitude.
And we gave thanks.
We gave thanks, we gave thanks that we get to work with everybody here, yeah.
Guys, sometimes you don't know how amazing you all are. Y'all are amazing. This group is assembled here. It's just amazing. All right, let us move on. Partners, now Carrie said she cannot be here. She's going to cover a closing this morning, 10 o'clock, but she will be here 11 o'clock for our Thanksgiving Day luncheon, so she'll be here for that. So who is up next? Is it you?
Oh, yes.
Come on, Jane.
Okay. And I believe Reeds should be on.
I am. I'm right here.
Wait a minute.
Look at that.
The rule is if you're not here, you don't get to speak as much. So Jane, you start speaking. You call on him. You call him when he can speak. Okay, if you're not here, you don't get to speak as much. That's the rule. Sorry, Reed. I just made that rule.
Hey, but he's dressed. I mean, who's at home on just and completely ready for the show, right?
Wearing sweatpants, I know that.
Not wearing anything.
Well, actually, Reed is going to be taking his wife for some tests this morning, and I do want you to tell the story
how that came to be, instead of me telling it. About how you thought maybe you should go, how you thought. maybe-
Well, it's interesting. I've been married, March will be 31 years, and I don't know. I mean, I must be the densest husband on the planet because, so day before yesterday, Marjorie said, you know, it's really weird. I'm going for this test and they just told me I could drive myself, but they've had me taking all this medicine beforehand and doesn't seem right. And I thought, oh, wow, that does seem weird. And then I went, wait a minute, she wants me to drive her.
And it took you how many years to figure that out, Reed?
30 and a half.
We're proud of you. We're proud of you. Well, today we're not really going to talk mortgages. We're going to talk about us and kind of taper off on what Jim said this morning with the prayer group. How thankful we are for every one of you. How thankful we are to be in this office and working with and for you and your customers. And how ironic that you all started your prayer this morning looking out for everybody, because we have a little drawing that we're going to do at the luncheon, or after, before the luncheon, for the people that showed up. And it contains a little Bible book with scriptures, just kind of that you can just take and throw in your pocket, and little scented candles to remind you of fall. But really just something, yeah, sure. Just something to say thank you for your partnership, and also thank you to the higher being that brings us here and let us have this fabulous work opportunity. So on behalf of
Especially
Reed
brought a card because I expect.
and Heather and Silver, we hope you enjoy it, but we want you to know how much we are thankful for you all. Reed?
No, that's a true statement. And Jim mentioned this morning that this is, I think it's either the 10th or 11th Thanksgiving. I guess it's the 10th that Jim's been here. So, I mean, that means 11 that I've had the privilege of being in the office with you guys. And I mean, I can't even conceive of what my business would have been like had I not had the privilege of being in the office with you guys. So I just want to say thank you. I thank God and thank all of you. I'm very grateful.
We're grateful for you too, guys.
Yes, thank y'all. So we'll do the drawing.
Great, let's give my hand to you all. What's up next? They're not coming, but we'll remind you about the 3-hour CE class. I'm going to come to this. It is a great class, and it is on the changes in the contracts. So guys, if anybody needs to know about it, it would be me, because I still think there's stuff in the contract that no longer exists. That's why you don't call me for contract questions. I don't read the contract much anymore. But guys, this is December 13th from 1 to 4. Cheryl King will be here. She knows the contracts well. She teaches them well, makes them fun. So guys, put that on your calendar. You also get 3 hours of CE credit to boot. So guys, put it on your calendar. Also. Guys, so anyway, on November the 29th at 11 to 12, there's going to be group coaching, listening consultation, dress rehearsal. Come in person in the Lead Gen room.
Can I tell them what
And
that
please
is?
don't leave, please, yes.
Okay, so last week, no, 2 weeks ago, I think?
Last week.
Oh, last week. So last week we had one of our newer agents do his listing presentation. And so on the 29th, we're gonna have 3 agents newer, and they're gonna do a dress rehearsal. They're stepping up and they're doing it afraid. And so I would love some of our experienced agents to be in the room so you can give us some feedback. Thank you, Angela.
Guys, one thing we do well in this office and this company is we share. A lot of companies, they hold their information very tight to the chest. They don't want to share with anybody. It's like, that's my stuff. Here, we open our arms and we're willing to share. And I love that we have this type of stuff here going on. So put that on your calendar, November 29th. Group coaching, work on your database, taught by Libby Brown. Now, guys, Libby, are you in the room?
I am.
Libby, tell about this. Tell what you're going to talk about.
Yes.
As well.
I am.
Best year ever, Libby?
This is definitely my best year ever, and I am at about, I think last time I checked, I'm like at 87% of my closings being from my database or referrals from my database. So just gonna talk about kind of what I do to touch my people and the plan that I do each year that kind of been growing each year.
Cool. Thank you, Libby. We're so happy you're willing to come and share. That should be fabulous. Put that on your calendar. You really don't want to miss that. There's a lot of good stuff going on, but you want to miss that one. December 1st, okay, buyer consultation, taught by a vet. A vet does that very, very well. So vet will be here, and she'll talk about her buyer consultation, what she does. Guys, that is so important, so you don't get to closing. The buyer says, you never warned me about that. So guys, please put that on your calendar, and that is going to be December the 6th at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Homestead exemptions, the guy, this is the great way you call your database. Talk to Arthur and Johnson, December the 8th from 11 to 12. If you don't know what homestead exemptions are, talk to Arthur and she'll tell you, because you should know what that is. Now, guys, please, please, please put this on your calendar. Guys, we're going to sell out in this. I promise we are. And once the tickets are gone, we cannot get any more. So I don't want anybody calling, oh, but Jim, I didn't know about it. Well, we talked about it for the past month. If you didn't know about it, you didn't come to me or read your email. So guys, this is a fabulous place to go. You did not go last year. It's at the Atlanta Botanical Gardens, guys, and it is lit up with I don't know, probably 1 million lights. Fabulous, beautifully. You can walk through the gardens, guys. If you've never done this before, this is something you don't want to miss. You get 2 free tickets for you and your spouse or significant other. You can bring your teenage daughter or son if you'd like, but you get 2 tickets. If you want more than that, you need to see Kimberly, and they're $30 each. And we are paid for this, guys. The office is. Lessons learned.
Oh, that was fast.
Wake
All
up,
right, I'm
Michelle.
just kind of
Wake up,
gathering my
Michelle.
thoughts. Lessons learned. It's been a little bit of everything this week. I try to bring to you things that will keep you out of going down a bad hole. And there were 2 things that I thought were fairly interesting. One, I had an agent call me, and I'm going to ask you all the question as if you're me, and I want to hear what you have to say. All right, I have the buyer. And the buyer, it's noted that they'll be removing TVs. And so if the seller removes the TV and they remove the stands or hardware from draperies, anything like that that's attached to the property, what should happen?
Usually or should.
Well, usually and should are 2 different things. That's why we're having this discussion. That's a good point.
I tell my sellers, if it's bigger than a nickel, fill in the hole.
Okay,
But
all
I
right.
don't think that's legally binding, it's just the right thing to do.
And why would you tell them that?
Because you want to leave the house in good shape for the buyers, and if it's that big, it's not like, what are they gonna do, cover it with a picture?
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're good. Or a nickel. But if you've got the buyer, where does it obligate the seller to repair things and put it back to their, as close to their as original? Where is, where in,
It's in,
okay, tell me where it's in the contract.
what page?
No, no,
Generally.
It says generally that we're gonna buy this house in the shape we saw it on the day that we walked through and went buying it.
what part of the contract? I'm gonna take our 3 off the hook here.
Yeah.
Take off the hook.
Okay.
What part of the contract would say that?
It's in the purchase and sale agreement that it should be in the original condition. However,
Yeah,
if there's TV on the wall, it's still the original condition.
Right.
You have to specify that those holes have to be filled in and painted.
Okay, getting closer, getting closer. It is in the contract, but what do you, okay, let's say they included a seller disclosure. Not all we do, please do.
In
we
the
get it, but
stipulations, right?
It's in the seller disclosure. So but I'm gonna ask the question, then I'm gonna finish the thing. What's the moral of the story?
just ask.
Read your
Read the
contract.
contracts.
Because it does say that if something is removed, and that's on the page where the items that are staying or going or whatever, it does say that the seller agrees to repair that area. Because what we had was an agent calling going, where is it? Well, they hadn't read the contract. And I get it, there's a lot there. But really, we do need to read the contract, because how are you going to represent your buyer? And you're going to, because this other agent just said, nope, we don't have to do it. Yes, it did. So, Marla.
I would just advise, be very specific with buyer and the stipulations, how to describe that in the stipulation. Because I had a case where I had to say, because it happened before, all the blinds stay with the house, you know, close the blinds because people take. So what happened was, so the seller had these blinds down. I don't know why when they start putting all their stuff out. And then they left all the blinds broken and trash in the garage. And when we went to do the walkthrough, I called the agent and said, hey, there are a bunch of blinds that is trash still in the garage. And you want to, as your client want to pick them up. And the agent said, no, you said that you wanted all the blinds. So I had to pay out of my pocket for someone to come and clean that because I was not going to do that to my client.
So you know what, yeah.
So
You know,
you
it
just have
takes
to be
one
super
time
specific.
for us to get burned, because we don't think in that way. We think we're gonna leave, you know, if we've got the seller, that they are to leave. That does not happen all the time, so I'm sorry that happened to you.
Just to
Angela.
specify section D, last sentence of the seller's property disclosure.
Yes, thank you.
Is this a good job that after Christmas, Michelle take you out for lunch?
Yeah, it's a deal. It's a
Again,
deal.
which one section?
Section D, of
Yes.
the seller's property
Yes.
disclosure, the last
And,
sentence.
and let me just follow up with that, with what Angela just said. Please read your contracts,
Yes.
please. I always say that. I'm like a broken
I'm
record.
gonna take you.
Yeah, I know. Read the contract. On my tombstone, it'll say, read the contract. Yeah. So, anyway, but what the reason I say that is because what happens too is we're, not everyone, lots of very, very, very good Keller Williams agents are doing it, but read your sellers, when the seller gives it to you and go, did you mean to leave off this, a shameful, you just want to make sure, so we don't go down the road. And if you've got the buyers, read through it. So the last thing I'm going to say, we get it, Barry.
Well, I was gonna say, I had a situation where we did our walkthrough the night before, maybe the morning of, and it was not the way we wanted it to be.
Okay.
And, you know, the seller, you know, gave us all the excuses, you know, moving between houses, blah, blah, blah. And we just told them, you know, we'll head to the closing when you send me a picture of the house clean.
Okay. So good. So walkthroughs are good, things like that. And I think, and we had this come up this week, is that ask the seller, if we've got the buyer, when the seller plans to have all their things out. I think that that's important because you're going to get a better picture when those things are out. Maybe not, but.
I think also I've had equal number of buyers who want the holes patched and paint.
Yeah.
And the same amount who say, leave it alone, I'm gonna paint it myself. I don't want splotchy paint touch-ups.
Right, okay.
So ask your buyers what they want.
Exactly. Because if you go in and you're showing a house and you go into contract and you see that there are mounted TVs, which is not unusual now, or things that of size that are going to come down, have that discussion before rather than 3 days prior or at walkthrough or at the closing table. Not a good time. So just think ahead. Thank you for sharing that. And
what do? You do the walkthrough. You go to closing, and the now new owners go back and all the towel racks and all of them.
After that?
Did you do a walkthrough?
And you did a walkthrough and there wasn't?
They were all there at the walkthrough.
Okay.
This wasn't me.
Okay. You know,
sorry,
that's a toughie. That's a toughie.
Buy some new toes.
You know, I mean, unfortunately.
I don't know. Maybe something that you can do is talk to the lawyer and ask them if they can hold, I don't know.
They're already closed.
They're already closed. Oh, it's already closed. Oh.
You know, it's a tough thing because at that point.
That's just unethical.
It's
It is.
right. I think I would talk to the other agent and say, I don't really want to be having this conversation, but what can we do? Because this was never disclosed. And, you know, to me, that's just theft because at that point, but it is me. Unfortunately, the same thing happened to my son. He's an attorney. And another attorney that he was buying the house from took all the hardware, the blinds, everything was gone. So he's going to small claims court because it was a big enough thing. Crazy. Not a great outcome there. I get it. So it happens to the best of us. Anything else? I'm so thankful for that.
We had to eat 11 o'clock.
Okay, that's it. Oh, how about let's do coming soon listings. Anything? What?
Tammy's gonna jump on 10 o'clock.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, we'll just, if we don't have anything, we can always revisit it, put it in the chat box.
yet. Okay, so you'll be on the
Okay.
10th.
Let us know when she jumps on, okay?
All right, any coming soon? We all have buyers that we're working with. If you have something terribly unusual, not the run of the mill, we just can't find something, but terribly unusual.
Well, sorry,
Okay.
I'm gonna do it coming soon after all.
Oh,
It's,
good.
it might list in like 2 weeks and 2 days. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause for the next few days, we're not thinking about it
I see you guys.
anyway.
Exactly. right.
I have it coming soon in Sprayberry District. It's a really nice home and probably the largest in the little neighborhood. It's got a basement, a master on the main, 3 bedrooms upstairs.
Right.
So. Yeah, I should have thought that one through. I know it. I just. The vibes, I just try to remember.
All right, keep talking.
I want to say we were around 525, but don't hold me to that. If you have somebody in the low 500s in Sprayberry for a nice home with vaulted ceilings, 4 bedrooms, master on main in the basement, let me know and I'll give you details.
Fantastic. Okay. I know you all have something up your sleeve. Anything? All right, you want me to dance? I've never been, not had
I
a,
have a unique buyer.
okay, unique, let's do it.
So, they're not in a rush, but they need up to 1.5 mil would be stretching it, preferably 1 mil-ish, on usable body of water. So think about like windward or something like that, where they can like go paddleboarding or something, not like some weird retention pond. But that's like #1 thing. Master on Main, actually.
Okay.
I need water. Beautiful.
Oh,
And then I'll have a listing after that. So.
What area?
okay,
Oh, I guess that's
Alatoona,
important.
where?
So like 25 minutes around Roswell. So they really would prefer Cherokee or Cobb just because of the taxes, or maybe Northwest Forsyth, but they're okay with Alpharetta if it's something like on Lake Windward because it's beautiful.
okay. All right. Well, I'll be looking for you. Who else?
Buyer,
Bye. Okay.
okay, from Lake Heroes, after the holidays, because my clients are now, and after the holidays, no, after this, that's. So I have a buyer that is looking in Sugar Hill or Hostosh,
Houston.
or coming, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, preferably just a ranch and with a nice flat backyard, up to 275. And then I have another one coming after this week, looking for 3 to 4 bedrooms with master on main. They would prefer something in Alpharetta or Johns Creek, up to 550. Yes, with a small yard and preferably in a subdivision with low maintenance, because it's a low old lady. And I have one more coming, yes, after this week, and is looking for up to 350 in Marietta, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and it doesn't have to be updated, but it has to be just ready to live in.
Okay, thank you, Barry.
Yeah, I've got several buyer needs. Looking in Smyrna, preferably a ranch, 3 bedrooms, 350 range, plus or minus. Doesn't need to be anything special, just needs to be nice, clean, and in decent condition. I've got a buyer who is West Cobb, East Spalding-ish, preferably around 250, 275 max. Would like to be 4 bedrooms, but 3 bedrooms will work. Again, decent living condition. That's about the minimum requirement there. I've got a buyer who is in the Marietta Square area, wants to be, a mile or so. So if anybody has anything special coming up in Marietta Square, That could be up to 700. And I think that's it right now.
And that is Barry Wofford.
Oh, that's who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And Marla, did you say your name?
I did.
Okay, I thought it. All right. Yes.
I'm Carrie Walters. I have a coming soon. It's a fixer upper, 4 door traditional 80s Dunwoody. It'll be low to mid 5.
Oh, that's a good subdivision. Good. All right. Angela.
Angela Presley, I have an unusual buyer need. We are looking for a ranch in Gwinnett County, 5 years or newer, on land, not in an HOA, no septic, move-in ready, up to 550.
On land.
Okay.
Correct. Figure that out.
The house is really close to the street, right?
Yeah. They want land, but they're afraid of septic.
Okay.
And it has to be newer, and it has to be a ranch, and it cannot be in an HOA.
Okay. Okay.
Someone help me find that deal.
All right. Okay, anybody else? Oh.
My first working with Pfizer Relocation Services. So that's a new project. This is gonna be in Alpharetta. The client's moving in a week. And this is the ASAP need, needed the next 4 months, 750 to 850. Big house, big kitchen. I think I put that out there.
Okay.
Big house, big kitchen.
Okay,
So
we'll just keep putting it out there till we get it
till you
done.
get me something. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to get in there.
Get
but-
done. Anybody else? Right. I'm gonna turn it back over to you, Jim. I've run out of things to say, so.
Good. And that's unusual for you, isn't it?
Well, I could keep going, but you
Me
would
too.
tell me to sit down.
I would, you're right. That's correct, Jeff. So anyway, guys, so we're gonna do something sort of unusual today, in that we're gonna talk to you about coaching. We're gonna talk to you about not only how you can get into coaching and do more business, but you can also at some point become a math coach. I love the idea that if I want to tomorrow, I think I can say this, I can retire to South Florida and become a math coach and still earn a very nice living. And I can coach 1 day a week or 7 days a week. I want to, guys. And that is one of the things that a lot keeps me at Keller Williams, because if I go to wherever, they don't have an opportunity. I also can, because I've been a reasonably successful team leader, I can go to Florida and say, well, I understand you have an office down there that needs a team leader. They go, oh, please come on, we need you. Greg Alexander, my adopted son, he has joined Keller Williams, as y'all know, and he would love me to come to Roanoke and work down with him. Sorry, Greg. I like this too much. Sorry, Greg. I love you, Gregory. Anyway, guys, so I've asked Arthur to come today and spend a little time, and her coach is going to, not her coach, the bowl coach, Tammy's going to jump on to me. Is she on yet? Do you want to text her and just see if she's on? Because we're going to talk about what it's like to be a coach and to be coached. And Libby, I'm going to put you on the spot for 1 second. Okay, Libby, tell us why you are being coached.
So I have 3 of them. So Libby, Ivan, and Rusty, can they all come up front, and then you can have the conversation with them. We will all have the conversation. Yes, so you're on the spot, Libby. Answer the man. Rusty and Ivan.
She's on?
She's on? Okay. No. She knows the format. We talk first and then, no, she's good too.
Great.
Hey, Tammy. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning, Tammy.
Good morning, everybody. This is
You're
so
okay.
fun.
Tammy, you should know as a ball coach how to unmute yourself. I mean, really. Anyway, give us a 3-minute update on how well bowl's going. She's our bowl coach, guys, and she is amazing. I've heard that. So tell us how well it's going at bowl.
It's going fantastic. Oh my gosh. Seeing fantastic results, seeing huge mindset shifts. By the way, that's a huge part of coaching. Something that we don't usually realize that we all require is that whole checkup from the neck up, because when we get all that right, everything else falls into place. So they're doing great things, tons of energy in that room, and we're just having lots of fun.
All right, so Tammy, we want to honor your time. So I'm gonna flip it, guys, if you don't mind, because I know she has tons and tons of things going on. Right? So Tammy, thank you so much for being on. And we would like for you to describe the leadership path. If somebody wants to be in the space of coaching or training and teaching, can you just describe what that looks like for us? Thank you.
Well, yes, and it's a fantastic opportunity that I'll share. I didn't even realize was available, and really just fueled my passion for doing what I was already doing, and yet being able to help other people. And so, you know, in our company, you can be a MAPS coach, you can be a BOLD coach, you can be a group coach, you can be an international master faculty through Keller Williams University, a KWU approved trainer. And I can answer questions about all of those because I actually do every single one of those. And it has been just an amazing journey. And, you know, if you'd like to master anything, then teach and coach it, because you have to get better in order to help other people get better. So where would you like me to start, Atharine?
So I would like you to start at how did you start? And just take us on that journey of how you started.
So yeah, it's a fun one. I was a mega agent running a team, you know, head down and just knee deep in my business. And the team leader at the time had come to me. I was on ALC, and our ALC was teaching in the market center. And, you know, she came to me and she said, hey, you know, I'd really like you to consider whether or not you can get enough leverage around you so that you can actually do all of the 36-12-3 sessions for the market center. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with all of you in the room. I was like, heck no, I don't have time for that, you know. And I said, no, you know, it's a lot for me to teach too. And that's kind of how it all started. And I started teaching in the market center, and I taught more and more and more. And what I found was just this deep love for helping people and watching them blossom. And it just literally set me on a path to, you know, how do I do this and impact more people? How do I keep my team going? You know, how do I do all these things? And I also, outside of doing those things, I actually have an education company that actually serves my region. And so the market centers are part of that. And so I'm developing other trainers who are doing exactly the same thing. And it just allows them a platform to get out there, get in front of people, and really learn how to do this. So that's really how I got started. And so I started teaching in my market center. Then I started teaching in other market centers that were nearby. Then our region kind of caught wind of what I was doing, and they started having me go all over my region. And I was also teaching technology. So I was teaching technology and how to succeed with sellers. I was doing 6 personal perspectives, greatest course in our system. And I just fell in love with it. So I really just mastered it, honestly, getting my feet wet all in my region. And then a bold opportunity presented itself. By the way, all through this entire journey, I had a MAPS coach, a MAPS one-on-one coach. So I was being coached and helped with how do I leverage myself so I could go do this, all while still building my team and not just leaving them, right? And so my coach was walking me through this. And then I actually went down the bold journey, and I can walk you through what all of this looks like. And I've been doing that for going on 8 years. And that is, oh my gosh, the greatest blessing of my entire life, because when you get to really pour into other people and watch them just explode their businesses or explode their personal life, by the way, it truly is a transformational program. It is not a speaking gig, if you will. It is absolutely coaching and transformation. It has been an awesome thing. And then while I was in the middle of doing bold, I guess it's been maybe 4 years ago, I had become a KWU approved trainer and decided I really would like to also be able to teach in the regions when I was not doing bold, teach the KWU material. So then I went down the path of international master faculty and do that. So yeah, I'll be speaking in the, Michigan, Northern Ohio. As soon as you guys are done with Bold, the next week I fly up there and we're doing an event for their top 200 agents in that region. So it's a lot of fun.
Yes, it sounds like fun, and it sounds like you're always on the go. So give us a little synopsis of, okay, so I'm teaching Ignite, right? I'm a really good trainer. And so I'd like to go down the path of training, right?
Okay.
I'd like to be a KWU trainer, and then I want to be a master faculty trainer. So how do I go about doing that?
Well, the first thing is you definitely want to make sure that you're teaching in your market center. I actually went and I pulled all of this so I could make sure that they hadn't changed anything. And so the very first thing is you want to make sure that you can find where they're doing a train the presenter. That's the very first thing. So there's a class that's taught by an international master faculty person. It's called Train the Presenter. And it really teaches you how to set up and have a really successful class so that people take the most from it. And it starts with like the very beginning of the day, how you teach, how adult learners learn, how you change the method of what you're doing every 8 minutes. It walks you through all of that. Then you do what's called advanced training workshop. And that again is also taught by a master faculty. And while Train the Presenter is not a pass or come back next time, advanced training workshop is. And so, that one is, yay, you're ready to move on and you can be, apply to be a Keller Williams University approved trainer, or, hey, you know what, here's your growth plan and come back and let's do that again. Right. They really want the best of the best to go through. And by the way, most people go through that second one, advanced training workshop, several times. And so, please, if you've done that or you're getting ready to do it, don't judge yourself. It's very normal. And it's just going to make you better. So, that's the very first thing. So those two things, then you've got to teach a minimum of 6 classes in the market centers in at least 3 different market centers. So, they want you out and about in your region and outside of your market center. And that, by the way, is just teaching you how to manage a room and kind of keep that flow going. You've got to get 75 evaluations, and there's a website that they give you. It's easy. It's kwueval.com. And you've got to get 75 evaluations of a 4.0 or better. And it's a 5-point grading system. So you've got to have that 4.0 or better in those 75 evaluations. As part of those 6 classes, you've got to make sure that one of them is at least 6 personal perspectives and another one is a session of Ignite. You've got to get letters of recommendation from your OP, your team leader, and your RD. And your RD's got to have watched you train. So find out where your RD is and go teach in the market center to make it really easy for them to get to you and pop in and see you teach for 30 or 45 minutes. Because they can't write that letter without seeing you teach. And then you just do an application and they send it out to all of the existing KWU approved trainers to say, hey, do you know this person? Are they someone who exemplifies our culture? Would you recommend them? Have you seen them train? And it's just a series of questions that are answered. And then, bada bing, you are KWU approved. That sounds like a lot, and it's really not, believe it or not. That one is extremely attainable. So yeah, that's the very first step. Then if you'd like to become a master faculty, which is a fantastic path, you've got to be a KWU approved trainer first. Then you actually have got to have taught in 9 market centers. By the way, all of those teachings have got to be over the last year. So it can't be that I taught like 5 years ago. It's got to be that I've taught in the last year. So 9 market center classes, 3 regional events where, the region is having you teach in the region. You've got to have 300 evaluations, and they've got to be a 4.5 out of the 5 grading scale or better. Then you've got to have 5 nominations. And those nominations can come from 3 different sources. They can come from KWRI executives, they can come from regional leadership, or they can come from other master faculty. So you've got to have 5 of those, and they have to have seen you teach. So that's some of the challenge there. There are production minimums if you're going to be a master faculty. They're totally attainable. Master faculty is a minimum of 10 million or 40 transactions in a year. If you're going to be a leadership person auditioning, then the market center's got to be profitable, and you have to have netted 36 recruits with a gross of 72. The difference with master faculty is there's an audition process. So once you've gone through all of that, then you actually audition in front of the executive board of the master faculty. So there are 6 of them, and you do, a 20-minute audition in front of them, either at mega camp or at family reunion. And that is a, pass or come back and audition again. And so that's the process of anything that's through Keller Williams University. And you guys, I will tell you, just going through that process and teaching those classes and really learning the Keller Williams curriculum will make you just the best agent that you could possibly be. It allows you to take these principles that are really our models and our systems that are built on successful people and bring it into your business and just blow up your own business. And then when you blow up your own business, you become the best absolute presenter, teacher, encourager that you possibly can, because you have real life application and examples that you can share with people. And so it is just, it's an amazing path. It really is. And that's where I started, not the master faculty. I did start with the KWU approved before I ever went down into the MAPS coaching side of things.
Tammy, I have a question for you. So, and I don't want to make this, a big one, but so as a master faculty, as a ball coach, give us some ideas, like if you decide to become a MAPS coach, as far as money, does it pay really well?
Yes, it does.
Can you just give us just some ideas because people think, well, I'm gonna make $10,000 a year and I'm gonna take a drop in salary. Can you give us some idea, sort of the range?
So on which side, Jim? On the KWU or MAPS coaching? So yeah, I can walk you down through that too. There's a difference between, MAPS coaching because, I'm also a group coach, right? So I coach Never Ending Referrals, and then I coach Bold, and the range is pretty big. It really depends on, I would say your experience. You're going to get larger numbers of people into a room, in a Bold room, and you're also going to attract more people into group coaching. So it really is, it takes time to build it up. It can be, I'm going to tell you, it's always 6 figures. And it can be upwards of, 500 to 600 a year.
Wow. So guys, so then this is something where if you want to retire one of these days from real estate or do something different, this is a great path. And is this path available in any other company?
No. No. And MAPS has different qualifications too. Would you like me to share those?
Well, that's Arthur. What do you think?
You know what? I would love to leave them intrigued so they could reach out to you or to me and find out about the MAPS qualifications. What do you think, Tammy?
Oh, I think that's fantastic. And, coaching is a whole different animal, right? It's really learning how to go inward with someone so that the results show up on the outside. It's very, very different than presenting and teaching.
Right.
So let's close with this, Tammy. What are the top 3 to 4 things you would say makes you most qualified to be a coach or a trainer? What would you say are the top 3 or 4 things? Number 1 would be you've already been successful as an agent, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. That's absolutely hands down. In both MAPS, whether you're a one-on-one coach or in Bold, there are minimum production standards. So you have to be able to walk that walk for sure. That's absolutely number 1, right? Is real life application. Number 2 is passion. I mean, you have to have passion for other people. You know, you have to wake up in the morning just having a huge desire to make a difference in someone else's world. And you know, that's number one. You can't fake it being a coach. You just can't. I think everybody has examples of, you know, whether it's in sports or something else where there's been a coach that hasn't been so effective. And it usually is that inward passion isn't there. So that's number one, because you can learn how to be a coach. And we teach people how to do that. And that just takes time. I mean, it really does. And you can get better and better. So passion is number one. Number two, you have to have the ability to be coached. You know, every one of us have a coach. Yes, if you're not coachable, you can't be a coach. You know, I mean, I have multiple coaches. Autherine and I were just talking about this last week, and it's because there are different areas of my life, and one coach is not a one size fits all. Right. And so I have different coaches for different areas of my life. And, you know, there are people out in my life actually that are my friends that think it's crazy. They're like, seriously, can you not live your life without having a coach? I'm like, my life is awesome because I'm coachable. And, you know, those people, you know, hold me accountable to the things that I say are really important. So, I mean, I think, you know, it's production, it's passion, and you've got to be coachable. And then you just become, am I allowed to say like the best badass version of yourself possible?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what allows you to help other people become the best, you know, of themselves too.
All right, so Arthur's gonna close it. Arthurine, tell her share with her who's gonna come teach the 6-person perspective in June.
So one of my favorite classes to teach, I haven't taught it in a long time. Guess who's coming to teach that next year?
6-person perspective.
6-personal perspective in our region.
Who's that?
In our group.
In our office.
Who is the best at teaching it next to Gary Keller? In our company.
There's actually quite a few.
Well, she's known as the Velvet Hammer.
Mo is coming to teach them.
That's right. Oh. Yes, she is. Yes, I know. We all love her. So she'll be here next June for Rawls group, I think.
So the ones that don't know Mo, tell them in 30 seconds how excited they should be.
Oh my gosh. I mean, she is number one, the keeper of the culture, the keeper of being a good human. And she knows those 6 personal perspectives, backwards and forwards. And, you know, those, when I said that's one of the greatest courses in our company outside of Bold, by the way, it is because they come from top producers, right? Top producers think differently and they have a different attitude toward life. And that's where those 6 personal perspectives came from. And there's no one better to teach it, right? Other than Gary. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That's a big deal, y'all, to like get her out of Oklahoma and to your region. Big deal.
Yeah. Huge. And we're so excited. We can hardly wait. Yeah. So thank you so much for this. And your bad comment just segued into, I have 3 bad agents up here, and we're gonna interview them and they're gonna share their journey. They're all 3 are different, but when I tell you that they grind. And I was talking to all 3 of them separately yesterday, and they all said the same thing. All right, so thank you.
Thank you, Tammy.
We appreciate you.
I'll home today when I go through your city, okay?
Oh my gosh, please do. Hey, everyone, have an amazing Thanksgiving. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I'm so grateful. Anytime I have the opportunity to just meet new people, as well as run into ones that I haven't seen or I know already. So anyway, have a fantastic holiday with your special people. And thank you so much. Mwah.
Thank you, Tammy.
I didn't know her till 3 months ago. You know her all, guys. Amazing. Right, Arthurine.
All right, so here is the thing. And I want you guys to come to this, just come to this last 20 minutes maybe with an open heart. Just empty yourself and just realize that this experience, we won't have this same experience again. So show up. just empty and open and let nature take its course. So I've asked Libby, Ivan, and Rusty to be part of our discussion this morning. And so we are celebrating gratefulness, and I celebrate gratefulness and gratitude each and every day of my life. And I just think it was appropriate to have all three of them up here and for you guys to just hear a little bit of their stories. And they're either a part of the coaching program, or in Libby's case, she's graduated. She's Miss Big Money Libby. And so now she has a MAPS coach. So I just want to jump to that. So Libby, let's start with you because you're the most senior of the three. So tell us who you are, how long you've been here, and we'll just go from there.
Sure. So I have been licensed for almost 5 years. I'm like 2 weeks away from my 5-year anniversary. As a realtor, I've always been at Quan, which I consider myself very lucky to be. When I started, I had just moved to Atlanta, didn't know anybody, didn't have a database, had a 6-month-old when I became licensed in a 3-year-old. So it was knee deep in the diapers and the babysitting or the schedules and all of that. But I had a really big burning, deep passionate why of like, I have to make it in real estate because we were renting an apartment. It was disgusting. My daughter didn't even have a bedroom. And I wanted to be a homeowner again because we had sold our house in Kansas City and couldn't afford a house unless I really made it in real estate. So I had that big burning why, and I was like, I'm gonna figure this out. And luckily I came to Quan where there's a ton of opportunity to like learn how to build a business. So I was here every day and I was coached through the coaching program. It went really well. I capped in 6 months. I capped and bought my house the next month. So I was in my house in like 7 months after becoming licensed in real estate. And I think I just coached through the Quan program for those 6 months, and second year kind of repeated my business. Then I doubled it. And then during 2020, during the pandemic, I thought, okay, I haven't been coached for a few years and I've done really well, but maybe there's more out there for me that I need to learn. And so I jumped into MAPS coaching about 1.5 years ago, and it's been awesome. I've doubled my business again this year and kind of have sets on doing the same for 2022. So it's been hugely helpful for me to, you don't know what you don't know. So it's like, you can't realize it on your own. Yeah. And even when you have great friends spurring you on and mastermind with agents, that's helpful.
Yeah.
But I think there's a point where it's like, oh, okay, I need to invest in me a little bit more. And that's with it.
And I'm glad you bring that up because there are agents who say, well, I have an accountability group and I encourage them. I do, because I think I encouraged your group on, right? And they go, I'm in a mastermind every day with James Shaw, which James says this is not coaching. So I'm glad that you bring that up because masterminding is good, accountability is good, but there's nothing like having that one-on-one coach for me. Mm-hmm. And I have several too, because there are different areas of my life. I have one for my marriage. When I start getting a little, I know who to call, right? And she does coach me on that. So Ivan, tell us about you, how long you've been here, and tell us a little bit about your story, whatever you want to tell us.
Yeah, sure. So I started my real estate journey about 4 years ago. My first year I was not licensed. I worked with a broker, just doing investments. And then I decided, well, you know what? I want to get my license. So I got my license and opportunity showed up. I ended up going to new home construction. Did that for a year, realized that that's not what I want to do. I want to do general. So I started shopping around for a broker because where I was focused mostly on new homes. And in the process, I found somewhere, but my wife ended up here somehow. And I came here, I think I took classes for about a month here. And everybody was so receptive. I love the atmosphere. I was like, man, there's so much that I don't know about real estate, and this will be the perfect place for me. So I started my journey here. I think I started my paperwork 2019, onboarded in January, and I started coaching with Arthur Reed. I never thought about a coach, but it just seemed like, you know, the next thing to do since I didn't know much. So started that, and then I started doing more transaction and just had a better view and knew where I was headed in my business. So did that. I fell short of capping. Situation happened, but I was still proud of what I've done. And then this year, I started out so well because we had plans in place, and I was looking at capping within 6 months. Took a little longer, but I capped and graduated to to dairy now. And I would say for me, in the process, I also had a child while 2020 was going on. So I felt, you know, in my mind, I was like, well, I guess this year's not gonna look the same way, but with the coaching going on, I've actually had the best year so far in real estate.
Yes, that deserves a clap. So, Rusty,
So I got licensed in June, so I've been here about 4 months.
4 months.
Prior to that, I was in corporate America retail. I think what drove me to real estate was just trying to create something that my whole family could be a part of. You know, I was gone, usually I'd leave the house Sunday, get back home late Friday night. And if you guys have been in retail, it's a grind. One of my regions was the size of Kohl's, but my income was nowhere near what the CEO of Kohl's made, but I worked probably just as hard as he did. So I got to thinking, you know, I need to find a business where my efforts will be rewarded in direct proportion to what I do. Because I've always worked hard. I told all three, I'm just a grinder. I always say there's a lot of people smarter than me. There's a lot of people more charismatic than me, but you're going to be challenged to work harder than I am. I'm in the gym and you're on the treadmill next to me. I'm peeking at what you're running at. I'm a little bit maybe, you know, so that's just my personality. So I knew if I could get into something that would be rewarded by my efforts, and then being humble enough to be open to direction and different perspectives, because I'm a hard-headed person. Authoring is great for me, but you know, I think the thing I'm blessed with is I didn't know what I didn't know, so I just thought what I had here at Keller Williams was just what everybody has. But as I do these transactions, I start talking to these other agents. It's frightening what could have happened if I hadn't, you know, responded when Keller Williams reached out. So, I mean, Barry's here every day. As soon as he walks by, I've always got a question for him. Even I wear out. You know, Angela shared her story. She comes and helps us with scripting and events at script class. So, you know, I get the breakfast crew. Everybody started about with me. And I mean, every day I pick up something that just helps my business.
And so I want to switch to mindset, because when I talked to all three of you guys separately, as we were getting ready for this, one of the things you said, and you said it standing at the doorway yesterday, so everybody that was scripting could hear it. So tell me about your mindset. When you came here, you could have gone the other way. You could have said after 2 months, peace out. I don't have a database. I don't know anything. And yet you persevered, and you just, like you said, grind. You just went full tilt as if failure was not an option. So talk to us about mindset.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's huge. I again became licensed in December, and I remember by February, I started internally freaking out a little bit of like, oh my God, I don't have a backup plan. What if real estate doesn't work? I don't have a backup plan and I need something. And then I was like, I'm not gonna make a big backup plan. I'm not gonna spend my energy on that. I have to just keep going and keep doing. So I think that you have to want it. And if you don't really want it, you're not, because it's not fun. Like, it's not fun. I think building is absolutely the hardest part, is as you're building your business, those first year and a half, 2 years, and there's no way through it but through it. It's like you've got have to have the conversations, you have to have the script practice, and you have to do the open houses and door knocking, call the expireds and visbos, and like you have to do those things to really figure out who am I as an agent, what fits my business, and what am I willing to do. And if you know your coach or your accountability, like if they want it more than you do, or your spouse, whoever, it's never gonna work. It's like you have to have that internal burn and passion, and if you don't have that, like then just find something that'll just give you a salary and then don't worry about it. But if you really want to, like Rusty said, if you really want to have an unlimited income potential and be really rewarded for your efforts, and you're willing to put in that grind for a couple of years, all of a sudden year 3, the most magical thing happens, your phone rings. You're like, you know, like people call you sometimes, you're still calling them too, of course, but like but that doesn't happen unless you put in the hours and the work.
And mindset for you, Ivan.
Mindset, I think that was one of the biggest shifts for me.
Yes.
Just understanding that I had a limited mindset of what I can do. And just seeing what other people are doing would be intimidating sometimes, until I realized, you know, from coaching and just planning and just knowing better that, hey, I have to work on me. And the only way to get where I want to go is just focus on me. Whoever's wherever they're at, they have to work on themselves. They have to go through their own journey. So just with having the right guidance on things I don't know to do, I'm being coached, and it's helping me just now being more confident, like, okay, I know where I am, I know where I'm going, and what I have to do and what I have to endure to get there. So.
Rusty, your mindset?
Yeah, I don't say I was kind of born with it. I mean, I refuse to lose. I mean, my favorite saying is Genghis Khan, when he would go to battle, he would come across the ocean and he'd burn all the ships. And you better win, because if you don't, there's no way home. And that's just always been my approach. You know, I'm a little bit of a Neanderthal, but that's always been my approach, is just find the right approach. You know, I used to tell my teams I reach all the time. When I was little, there was this car that would keep hitting the wall, but it would hit it, then it would back up, then it would hit another wall, back up, but eventually it would find its way out. Some people just keep hitting that wall. And when I hit a wall, I just say, okay, that didn't work. Let me try something different. So I keep trying different things until it works. But every business I've ever taken over, I tell my wife when I walk in the first day, you're not gonna see me for 6 months, because I don't worry about life work balance till I get my business straight. And that's kind of the way I approach real estate as well. Is, you know, there's gonna be a time for that life work balance. There's gonna be time for those vacations, but as a new agent, I gotta build that business, so I just stay at it.
Yeah. And what's admirable is that the 3 of you, so you pop in sometimes and you script practice with us, right? But the 3 of you have consistently done the same thing. So it's like a recipe, and you guys just repeat it at different points in our career, because you're all showed up. In your case, showed up. You guys are still showing up to scripts practice and role play, and just doing the things. Just 20 a day. Before anybody told you, I think the first time I introduced the concept to you of 20 and 1 and 20 and 1, he would report his numbers to me every single day, because we had hit a roadblock in his business. And I said, Ivan, it's 20 and 1. And he would report it out. And that turned Ivan's business around, 20 and 1. So I know you guys are going to tell us something really simple and wonderful. So secrets to your success.
Gosh, what's unfortunate is there's no magic bullet.
Really?
I know. It's so funny. It's like you can go to 1 million classes here and everybody that's successful will say the same thing. It's like just you have to do the work. But yeah, I mean, I think really you keep at it, keep your mindset positive, because when you hit a battle and you hear a no, you're just that much closer to yes, ask for help when you need it and rely on the office, rely on people here when you're in a bind. And when you're feeling really negative, you can get out of it. There's people here to share that with you and want to see you grow. So don't be a stranger if you start getting discouraged. Lean on us.
I have one secret to your success. You're gonna tell me this silver bullet.
No secret. But one thing that has worked really well for me, like you said, the 20 and 1. And then just being in the office around other people just really pushes you to do even perform even better. So I would say that, and just script practicing helps you have better conversations. So just the basics.
Don't
So
listen to
boring.
those two. You are new and you're gonna cap in December, in 4 months. So you got the secret. Those two don't know what they're talking about. So tell us.
I'll say, I mean, honestly, I would say two things. Is as a new agent, for sure, you need to have your tail in this office at least 3 days a week and listen and ask questions and those kind of things. So that would be one, but the others carry database. I started with 50. I'm up to about 1,200, which almost 60,000. I add to my database every single week. Put those commands out there and touch. Because that, I think, in 4 or 5 years, I mean, I'll be excited. But right now, my leads aren't coming much from my spear and things like that. So, but my goal is for it to. And I got my very first one. I was down at the fireboat, right, my bourbon phone rang, and it said, "Hey, this is so and so, and you've been sending me my letters. I want you to come list my house."
Awesome.
Sweet. And campaigns.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to add though.
Yes.
These 3 people, one thing I love about them is that even though when you think of a real estate agent, you think someone like me, outgoing, loves everybody, walks in the room, you know what I mean? And you can't do it unless you're outgoing. That's a lie.
Yeah.
This one right here, I'm gonna embarrass you, okay?
Yeah.
She comes to Atlanta, she's married. Within a year and a half, you're divorced.
Yeah.
Has a baby.
2.
Second baby.
Right.
This baby. Also, she's a single parent, trying to raise 2 children, and no excuses.
Nope.
This man right here is not very outgoing. He's quiet. Is that true, Ivan?
I am.
He's quiet. He's quiet. People who are quiet can't make it in real estate. Is that right? No, that's not right. He's made it in real estate because he's quiet. This man over here can't hear. People who can't hear can't make it in real estate, guys. They can't because he's got these things inside his head. If he's not looking, he cannot hear you guys. Is he doing well in real estate?
Fabulously well. Yeah.
So guys, when you look at this, look at these people here. I mean, my sweet friend Anya, she's Polish. No one understands what she's saying.
Right? Yeah.
Does she have excuses?
No.
So I'm gonna quote from my friend Courtney. Courtney, I know you're online right now, okay? She says there's nothing, and watch her, she's pretty successful. There's nothing different about me, except I'm willing to do the activity you're not willing to do.
Yeah. She said it.
There is the secret bullet right there, as Martha.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely.
That's the secret bullet right there. I wanna do-
Absolutely.
So guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in the back
Yes,
also.
yeah.
Guys, there's so many of y'all back there that have been amazing. Would you like to introduce your 2 coaches?
I would love to. I was just gonna bring them up and make an announcement. So Carrie and Barry, will you come up?
Great.
So Carrie and Barry joined me in February as we were transitioning. And so here's how I describe it, right? This is my elevator speech really quickly. I'm foundational, I'm the head coach, right? So you start with me. We build a firm foundation and then their momentum. They're both experienced agents. The way you get into their bucket is that you must be a capper. And then you go to them and they build you to wherever. And then the next step is a MAPS coach. Once you get to 150, 200, Libby, you're in MAPS coaching. Yvette, you're in MAPS coaching. And so if you would like to find out how to be a PC coach in this office, I've got standards, and text me, email me, and we'll have that conversation. Barry and Carrie and myself, we want to make it really easy for you to kind of test the waters, right? We want to make it easy for you to hire a coach. So if you have caps and you're like, I can't afford it, or I can't whatever, or you have some limited mindset about allowing accountability in your life, or if you've been in this office forever and you're still dabbling and you want to be really serious about your business and you have not capped, I'm the person for you. So what we're offering is.
You say, it.
I don't want to say it wrong. That's
Anti-competitive, okay, so a year's coaching and the first 2 months of free. If you are not yet coaching with either, it's not either, it's three of us. With any of, if you're not yet coaching with any of us and you would love to because you want to be Rusty or Ivan or Libby, then come see us about how you sign a contract and how you get your first 2 months free. Is that clear? And then, of course, if you would like to be a PC coach, come see me and I'll tell you what the standards are.
can I say one thing?
Yes, please.
Thank you. I would say this, this in January, I'll be entering my 19th year in real estate, which is shocking to me. And I've been in different kind of coaching. I've done MAPS coaching. I've coached with Jim, you know, and coaching with Laura right now, which is coaching us. Coaching is not just about getting from $1 amount to another dollar amount. Okay, you can be a successful agent because success is defined by you, not by us, right? So if you're making whatever money you want to make, or your business is good, but you want to grow as an individual, coaching can help you that way. So don't just think of it as, well, you know, I'm close to a number, and so, you know, that's what this is all about. This is all about getting from X dollars to Y dollars. It's not. It's about how you be in this business for 19 years, okay? And continuing to, you know, enjoy it and build. And, you know, this for me, and I think for Carrie too, you know, this was an opportunity that grew out of being an agent for a long time and then wanting to give back and wanting to share. And you know, you heard about all the opportunities that Keller Williams offers. So coaching is a lot more than just moving dollars or stacking up dollars. You know, you can be a very successful agent and have a good monetary business, but you're still dealing with mindset issues. And you're still, well, frankly, and you know, sometimes you're like, 19 years, all right, how many houses am I going to show in the 19th year? You know, what's the answer? I mean, you know, there are times when we ebb and flow with our energy in this business. And a coach, and at least I speak for myself, but I think we're all similar, is we're here to create accountability, and we're here to remind you, and we're an outside set of eyes that can look at your world, right, in a different way and talk about where possibility is that you may not see it. So don't think of coaching as just, you know, this is a salary boost, okay? And that's all this tool is. It's much more than that. And if you want to be a good, successful agent, I think you need to be open to that possibility. And we can talk more if you're interested.
Because your business grows to the extent that you do.
And you grow,
yeah,
to the extent that your business grows.
Right.
So
right.
it's a certain.
I would say that it sounds really easy to make a plan and stick to the plan and make a certain amount of money. However, you need somebody, a partner in your business. To me, as a coach, I look at myself as a stake-holding partner in your business. And so I like to help people make a plan, stick to the plan, account it, and make sure it's profitable. And it's too many agents make a ton of GCI and don't put any of it in their pocket. That is where I'm standing up and saying, no more.
All right, do you guys have any questions for us? Because we've got a turkey we need to go to. Any questions? Yes?
I don't have a question for you. Just gonna make sure everybody put their card in that little.
Okay. Any questions, anyone? All right, thank you so much for your time. So very much.
So we're gonna, 11 o'clock, we're gonna huge, a lot of food. So, at this point, just hang around for 2 minutes. We'll get the food